Hello, and welcome back to CData Foundations 2025, Day 2. I'm Jared, Director of Technology Evangelism, and I'm joined once again by my colleague Marie, SVP of Product Marketing. It's great to see so many of you back for our day focused on integrating your data infrastructure with AI.
Thanks, Jared. Last week we had a great day focused on data and analytics. We brought insights from experienced data leaders on how they built a modern data infrastructure with CData, how they transformed disparate data sources into unified insights. They were also able to empower their teams to excel in operational processes and accelerate analytics initiatives that deliver measurable business impact.
Today, we're taking that conversation further by showing how you can bridge your modern data foundation directly to powerful AI models. We'll look at what it really takes to give AI safe, secure access to your enterprise data, and the massive potential you can quickly realize when the AI truly understands the data context of your business.
Our Day 2 theme is about how winners are wiring their data infrastructure for the agent economy. We'll show you how organizations are preparing their architectures for AI-powered analytics, conversational data exploration with LLMs and agentic workflows, and how they keep security and governance front and center throughout the process.
Last week, we covered some of the foundational concepts, pun intended, with a universal semantic layer, real-time connectivity for different business functions, and how to optimize your data integration stack. Today, we'll show you how that vision comes to life with AI.
We'll cover what we've heard from customers, the latest AI adoption trends, and where CData's platform is heading to meet the needs of our customers as the AI landscape matures. And yes, we have a live demo coming that will show exactly how you can power agentic workflows securely with full contextualization on your enterprise data.
We have packed as much as we possibly can into this day, so let's get started. Over to you, Will and Manish, to kick off our keynote.
Thanks, Jared and Marie. Hi, everyone. I'm Will Davis, Chief Marketing Officer at CData, here with our Chief Product Officer, Manish Patel. We're looking forward to continuing the conversation from last week and connecting to today's focus on AI.
So let's rewind to our starting point. Over a decade ago, CData introduced its first connector library, purpose-built drivers that opened access to enterprise data in almost any system without the need for custom development. At the time, organizations were looking for a faster, more dependable way to link their reporting analytics and operational tools with the systems that store all of their critical information. The breakthrough was creating a consistent, standards-based approach.
And those connectors became the launch pad for something bigger. Customers wanted solutions that did more than establish connections. They needed to integrate, move, and manage data across both cloud-hosted and on-site environments. The speed, reliability, and compatibility of our connectors made them the natural starting point for building a complete enterprise integration platform.
And from that base, we've added new capabilities, live data access to cloud systems, EDI and MFT, ETL, ELT, virtualization, each designed to address a specific challenge in moving, shaping, and controlling enterprise data. The objective was to make it easier and more centralized to prepare information for analytics, operational use, and now AI-driven workloads.
And the result is that our customers are now connecting to more data sources more quickly than ever before. Just as important, the nature of our customer relationships has also deepened. What began as solving individual integration challenges has grown into long-term partnerships where we help define and execute enterprise data strategies that support both current analytics objectives and future AI plans. This progress has also brought significant industry recognition to CData. We were the only new entrant in the Gartner Magic Quadrant for data integration. We have ranked on the Deloitte Fast 500 for 3 consecutive years, and we have earned a place on the Inc. 5000, demonstrating that our approach is resonating with customers and with leaders across the data and technology landscape.
And on top of that recognition, we are proud to work with many of the world's largest and most respected enterprises. Names like Amazon, NASA, Dell, FedEx, J&J, Spectrum Technologies, BMW Financial Services, Nippon Steel, and over 8,000 other organizations across nearly every global region rely on our technology to support their most critical data initiatives. Even more compelling than the number of companies we serve is our innovation our customers are driving with CData solutions. Their work shows the full range of possibilities when secure, high-performance connectivity is put to use in diverse industries and diverse use cases.
And in the past few months, we've announced new strategic partnerships with 3 of the world's top software companies that now embed CData connectivity into their products: Google, SAP, and Palantir. We highlight these not only for the strength of the names involved, but because each one has made our technology part of the core data connectivity their customers depend on every day. For Google, our connectors are built into the Google Cloud portfolio, giving users direct, no-code access to hundreds of external sources, from SaaS applications to legacy databases, without additional integration work. In SAP's Business Data Cloud, we extend access well beyond native SAP environments, so customers can work with all of the data they need in real time, wherever it resides. And within Palantir Foundry, our connectors provide expanded reach, helping some of the most complex enterprises bring their most important data into the decisions that have the greatest impact. Collaborating at this level with global leaders not only confirms the strength of our platform, it pushes us to raise the bar. The performance demands and integration challenges we address for Google, SAP, and Palantir feed directly into improvements for every CData customer. However an organization uses CData connectivity, it benefits from the same secure, high-performance foundation that supports analytics, AI, and mission-critical operations at global scale.
Over the last year, we've spent a lot of time talking to customers about where they are in their AI journey. And the answer almost everywhere is that they are in the early stages of getting enterprise value out of AI. Most organizations have started pilots, some in analytics, some in customer service, but relatively few have moved beyond experiments. The ambition is there, but scaling safely is still a work in progress.
And even as we see leadership interest and budget shifting quickly toward AI, most of the early AI adoption wins are in read-only use cases, with applications like AI-powered chatbots to handle routine customer support or executive briefings that summarize operational data. In this context, read-only refers to AI applications that analyze and interpret existing data without adding new data or triggering automated actions in your enterprise systems. These tools read information and provide insights or responses, but don't write back to databases or change how operations run. Think, an AI that answers questions about sales data versus one that updates customer records. The former reads and interprets, the latter reads, decides, and acts. These are valuable, but they're only scratching the surface of what's possible.
And when we talk to enterprises about the biggest reasons why they can't go further, it often comes down to the lack of streamlined data access. No matter how advanced an AI model is, it will be severely limited in delivering business value without access to timely, trusted, and governed data. And getting that data into AI tools in a way that's both secure and usable has become the single biggest blocker to moving from experiments to real-life impact.
That's exactly the problem we've been building towards solving. On day one of Foundations, we introduced the unified CData platform, bringing together everything we've built over the years into a single foundation. Today, we're going to look at how that foundation specifically addresses AI readiness and how you can establish the data connectivity, consistency, and governance you need to take your AI projects from pilot to production.
We've organized the platform into 3 distinct pillars. Pillar 1 is our business insights layer. This is about giving our business teams fast, governed access to the data they need while also setting the right boundaries to keep the sensitive information secure. And when you add AI into that mix, that governance isn't optional anymore. It's key to making sure that every AI interaction is safe and accurate.
And the business insights layer can give your AI tools, whether it's a conversational analytics assistant or a customer service bot or an LLM-based copilot, access to live, accurate data without the risk of shadow IT. It can be the secure bridge between the business demand for immediate value from AI and the IT mandate to protect your data. And it can empower your conversational analytics assistants, LLM-based copilots, and AI agents with the real business context they need.
What this means is you can enable AI-driven analysis, reporting, and recommendations that are grounded in your governed data. Your teams can ask questions in natural language, see AI-generated insights, and all this in the flow of their work, and then trust that the responses are based on the current compliant information.
The second pillar is our universal semantic layer. As we heard last week, data doesn't just come in one form or speed. Some of it's streaming in real time, some comes in daily batches, some of your data is accessed via API, while other sources of context come from databases and on-premise applications. A significant portion of this data is unstructured, in the form of emails, social media posts, or internal documentation. AI systems have to be able to make sense of all these data modalities, and without a semantic layer, your AI has just a guess at the meaning. And this is where hallucinations and bad recommendations come in.
Our semantic layer solves this problem by ensuring that every AI model, every workflow, and every business user works from the same definitions and the same business meaning, no matter where that data has come from. It also supports a full metadata catalog of your enterprise data with business definition, so you can enrich AI with the business context it needs for better answers and smarter actions.
And this means you can roll out AI-powered experiences that are consistent across teams and systems. The CData semantic layer will also give your business a data access foundation for the next generation of AI-powered analytics, agentic workflows, or customer-facing applications.
And that brings us to pillar 3, AI connectivity. This is where everything comes together. AI is only as good as the data it can access, and most AI projects fail not because of the model, but because the model cannot reliably reach the right data.
With our AI connectivity layer, you can safely connect any AI-powered application to live, governed enterprise data. This means faster time to market for AI projects, reduce risk around sensitive data, and AI results your teams can actually trust.
And while those pillars set the stage for what's possible, they weren't built in a vacuum. Every part of our platform vision comes directly from what we've been hearing from you and from the market. Over the past months, we've spoken with hundreds of data and AI leaders, and research has surfaced 4 clear market themes that are shaping AI adoption today. These themes inform where we're taking our connectivity to power AI initiatives for organizational use, and also where we're taking our products to power AI initiatives.
Theme 1 is most organizations have started AI projects, but it's still early days and the projects being implemented are experimental. Typically, applications of AI in the enterprise are centered on generative AI, particularly analytics and data democratization use cases, essentially read-only AI. Customer service and leadership decision support are the predominant use cases in the early wins.
The second theme is a shift towards semantic layers and real-time data, where organizations are building semantic layers so every employee and system works from the same understanding of the data. They're investing in metadata catalogs and knowledge graphs to power smarter AI, like RAG and agent workflows. But here's the catch. Most are still running on a batch-first architecture. That means true real-time access, and the AI use cases that depend on it are still just out of reach for many.
The third theme is the ramped-up urgency to connect AI to enterprise data sources. Unstructured data integration is a top concern. PDFs, text documents, chat conversations, and images. RAG is foundational, but still emerging for most. Model Context Protocol, or MCP, is under active evaluation for structured data and agentic action.
And our last theme is the split in readiness between established enterprises with legacy systems and smaller, newer companies building AI agents from day one. The established enterprises are focusing on foundational modernization, while the AI native startups are already running real-time autonomous workflows.
Throughout the rest of today's events, we'll dive deeper into each of these themes through the real-world experiences and insights of our customers and partners. You'll hear directly from organizations at different stages of their AI journey, from established enterprises navigating the complexities of modernizing legacy infrastructure to agile startups that have built AI-native architectures from the ground up. Their presentations will illustrate how these themes play out in practice, the challenges that they've overcome, and the strategies that have driven their success in building data infrastructure that truly enables AI at scale. And now, to moderate that discussion, Adam DeMichael, our Chief Revenue Officer.
Thanks, Will. And thank you to our panelists for joining us today. I'd like to welcome Jessica Smith, VP of Product at Atacama, one of our embedded connectivity customers and a leader in the data quality, governance, and metadata-driven automation space. Ben Leher, CEO of First Water Finance, a direct customer delivering financial insights and advisory services to growing companies. And last but not least, Harshit Kohli, Senior Technical Account Manager at AWS, one of our strategic partners helping customers scale secure, high-performance data solutions in the cloud. All three will be sharing more in their individual sessions later today, but first we're going to hear their perspectives on 4 key themes that we just heard from Will and Monish. Why don't I recap those? Theme 1 is AI is early, mostly read-only use cases. Theme 2 is enterprises building semantic layers, but real-time data access is still lagging. Theme 3 is the urgency to connect AI to all enterprise data, something that we've been hearing a ton about in the industry. And theme 4 is the readiness split, legacy modernization versus AI native. Ben, let's start with you. Which of these 4 themes resonates most with you in your business today?
I think all 4 themes are applicable and things that we sort of come across every day. But I think 2 of them, at least for us from a finance lens, really resonate. And one is this shift to real-time data and semantic layers. For finance, we don't necessarily think in terms of real-time. There are very clear use cases for real-time data access, but we tend to think more in controlled time. So when we are working with information, we're usually looking to bring that central source of truth and standardization where additional analytics need to match up exactly with other outputs and deliverables, such as the month-end business review or the quarterly board deck. So we need to focus in on making sure that we're working off the correct versions of data and consistent versions of data, and tools like CData Sync have been instrumental for us in sort of having that sort of central hub of control over when we're pushing data through and how we're leveraging and pushing it where we need it to go. The other one for us, being in the professional services space, is this concept of the maturity split across different organizations and different levels of readiness. And while we see a wide variety of that across our customer base, what's really interesting to us is now everybody sort of has to think about that maturity curve as sort of ever evolving. Nobody knows what winners are going to emerge in things like AI and what tools we'll be using 1 or 2 years from now. All the features are changing within the tech stack, and there's this sort of bleed of features across those tools and stacks that we're using, and now we need more control and sort of visibility into where certain processes are having, and that's a new challenge, especially from finance and the office of the CFO, that we need to take more control of.
Okay, Jessica, what's the take from your seat at Atacama?
So really similar to Ben, two of the themes really resonated a lot with me, and one was the semantic layer, so I'll answer with my other one. So the other one is the urgency to connect to all types of data, especially as we think about the role of unstructured data in this world. It's becoming increasingly more important. It was previously, I think, totally inaccessible to the majority of our enterprise clients. And especially even thinking about the financial services industry, we're starting to see a lot more pressure from regulators, for example, to include unstructured data in data management initiatives, especially when it comes to governance. We have a ton of customers who are asking us right now around how they should think about data quality when it comes to unstructured data, and then also how that unstructured data is feeding into their own AI initiatives, since unstructured and semi-structured data are kind of the language of a lot of the newer AI models, like the generative AI models, the foundation models. So it's becoming a really exciting space for us. We mentioned the concept of MCP, and that's something that we're really interested in right now at Atacama as we think about the shift of the data management world and how AI agents are starting to play a larger role in this space. And if we think about what the future looks like in a couple of years, there's definitely this potential future where right now you have humans interacting with agents, but the next step of that is agents interacting with agents to accomplish various tasks. And so what does the mechanism for that look like? MCP server is kind of the emerging architecture there. Will it be the final state? Nobody knows, but it's definitely something that we're really excited about and exploring on a much deeper level here at Atacama.
And Harshi, what about you? AWS has notoriously been a fast evolving and cutting edge company for a number of years. How are you approaching this when it comes to AI?
Thanks. Yeah, so I will clearly agree to what my friends said just now. For me, I'm working a lot closely with small, medium business scale customers and startup customers at a very large scale. And I've seen like they are stuck with theme 1 and theme 3 at the maximum level. Like when I say AI starting point, there are organizations who are starting right now with AI. They are trying to understand AI, trying to fit use cases with AI. Their leadership is moving in that direction. They are trying to construct or trying to make teams who can dedicatedly work on AI solutions or AI use cases. That's the pattern I've seen with the startups and small medium business scale customers. And then there is a second subset of customers who is having a large urgency to move towards this kind of data, where they are very more advanced in their AI journey. They have started exploring the unstructured data. They have started using a variety of models, using multi-model approach, using agentic AI right now. Uh, MCP is another thing which they're exploring heavily right now. Uh, RAG still remains their foundation, but I mean they're exploring a lot more than RAG. They're trying to use RAG as their base and then trying to build solutions, advanced solutions on top of it. So mostly the organizations I'm working with have have come across with these two themes. But then we also have some enterprise and strategic customers who have maturity split theme as well. So what happens over there as well is that there are dedicated teams over there who are working on legacy applications, or who are fixing issues with the legacy applications, trying to make them more optimized, more structured. And then they have also dedicatedly uh, started creating or starting making new teams who can work on AI solutions. But first, they are taking very cautious and they're taking very careful steps. So they're trying to first explore the use case, trying to ensure that security and everything is in aligned with their organization policies, and then they're trying to make their team and make their organization more mature towards this space as well. Yeah.
Great perspectives. Now for the second question. How are you splitting your time and resources between foundational data work and AI initiatives? For many companies, this means balancing ongoing integration, governance, and data quality projects with the pressure to move fast on AI pilots and deployments. Where's the balance for you right now, and how is it evolving? Jessica, why don't we start with you this time?
Sure. So as a software vendor, I think about this from two different lenses. I think about how we're approaching this internally, and then what we're seeing our clients doing, and what we're helping our customers with our own software. So internally, of course, we're trying to do as much with AI as possible. Covers everything from enabling our team members on how to use AI tooling. We did an internal AI hackathon where we were exploring, how we can make better use of AI. We've procured a number of different AI tools like Glean, for example, to help us search knowledge across our entire enterprise estate. So there's a bunch of different things that we're doing internally. Engineering teams using Copilot, product teams iterating with AI tooling that helps with prototyping. So we're trying to move faster and be more efficient across all various facets of our business. And then in terms of what we're seeing our customers do and what we're helping with from a product perspective, from a product development perspective, we're always thinking about how we can build things in a more AI first way, how we can build capability in the product that is easier to use and makes it easier for our customers to adopt and use. But there are also very fundamental, very challenging data problems that we always have our eyes on top of as a software vendor, just to make sure that we're building product in the right way for what is a very complex technology landscape. And then I think what we see our customers doing is kind of trying to straddle that line, right? They want to do innovation. We see various adoption of AI tooling and AI acceleration. Depending on the industry, there are some industries, especially highly regulated industries, that are a little bit more hesitant to move as fast as what we see in some of the less regulated industries. But I think everyone at this point is starting to look at least how can we get some tooling in place to help our teams move faster, while we're also focused on kind of those core problems that need a lot of kind of hands-on, challenging kind of attention.
Ben, how about from your seat?
Yeah, we spend a lot of time thinking about the shifts in the modern FP&A function, from team construction to the capabilities and skill sets that are going to be required. And I think we all would agree that clean, consistent data foundations are a prerequisite for anything AI related. However, for us, we sort of think about it as this central source of truth, CST ecosystem. And so our efforts in establishing those foundations are not just to serve AI initiatives, but are really about serving finance and the entire organization from one place. So we spend a lot of time there. It's an area where emerging and mid-market organizations are really lagging in terms of keeping them from getting traction in AI and other initiatives. And we're trying to also model that shift in the team and skill set construction. So one of the things that we've done in particular for AI enablement is that we've added what you would see more like a VP of product at a software or technology company, yet we're a finance team. And so we are sort of adopting more of that product mentality as it relates to AI initiatives and quite frankly, everything we do in FP&A. as something that we see as sort of being owned by finance in being that business partner enabler across the organization.
Harshi, what's the balance at AWS around prioritizing AI versus some of your legacy data initiatives?
So I'll say there is a fine balance between what is going with the initiatives with respect to the data strategy and the AI strategy. So there are a lot of things happening across AWS in terms of data strategy as well as AI strategy, and there are high number of customers who are also working on aligning their data strategy. So before we even take the next chapter on towards maturing our AI systems or maturing our AI use cases, the customers are smart enough to understand that they have to make sure that their data strategy are well mature. And what I mean to say by that is your data should be strong enough so that it can generate good insights from the AI, right? So that's something which the customers are understanding. AWS is also helping them in that direction. There are different data strategy models which are working with the customers. They are finding very fruitful outcomes out of that, making sure that all their structured, unstructured, semi-structured data is aligned and is meaningful, so that once they build AI use cases on top of that, it can reflect the insights what they want. So there has to be a fine balance between both the data strategy and AI strategy. And for the AI strategy to succeed, I think the data strategy has to provide a strong core foundational aspect.
For our last question, what's most exciting to you about the future of AI-powered data and analytics? Is it smarter customer experiences, more autonomous internal workflows, or completely new capabilities? What's getting you energized? What's getting your teams energized?
So I'm excited about all the aspects, and I'll first start with customer experience. So let's imagine a customer who is a business customer who has very less experience in coding. So they are effectively using natural language processing where they want to get some meaningful data or meaningful insights out of their data. So they can ask various questions or various queries from their data without even coding a single line, right? So that is all possible because of using natural language processing, right? And the way it works out is because you have access to so many AI models, so many AI apps, that right now you can fetch meaningful insights using the natural language processing mechanism, right? On the other hand, AI is involving anything, right? You have so many models right now. You have multi-models, you have agentic AI. You can process images, videos, text, documents. Not only that, I mean, not only you can process those documents and images single-handedly, but you can combine the insights of all together and you can try to produce meaningful insights out of that as well. So to me, it sounds like the customer experience, the various evolving trends, whether it's MCP, agentic AI, we are moving in the right direction. The organizations are also understanding that it's the right time, they need to make a right move, and the experiences for the customers are also evolving with time.
Yeah, such a great question. So I think what excites me the most is, historically, one of the biggest challenges in data management is how people who actually need to use the data get their hands on it. And so this is where the concept of like the data mesh and the data fabric came from. Because, if we look at how this market has evolved over the last, 10 or 15 years, it's historically been very IT driven. There's a lot of kind of back and forth between the business who understands the use case that they're trying to use data for, but doesn't necessarily understand the data. Then you have the technology team or the IT team who understands the data, but not necessarily the use case. And so the best we've been able to do is try to help accelerate that kind of stewardship of the data and that collaboration between teams. But I think this day and age, we have the potential for AI to seriously disrupt what the future of data management looks like, and seriously disrupt and dramatically change how those that need to actually use data to accomplish tasks, whether that be to have a stronger marketing campaign or be able to sell more to existing customers, whatever that looks like, to be able to access that data and use it appropriately. And this is something that we're exploring right now, going back to the first question about the themes that really resonate with talking through the potential for applications like MCP Server, where we can have something like a product like Atacama serve as that trusted data foundation that we can then expose through an MCP architecture to other applications or other consumers. So you could have, even a large language model interface that a business user is interacting with as a standard interface, and something like Atacama kind of serving up trusted data from that perspective. So I think that's the thing that's really exciting me right now, because that solves a really big pain point that we often hear from our customers.
Not a day goes by where I and our team aren't thinking about how we accelerate the timeliness and quality of dialogue within organizations to lead to more proactive and better decisions. And that really boils down to getting the right information into the right hands faster. So for us, that kind of has two different angles and that we're working on and that we're most excited about. One is being able to leverage AI and other tools for customization of that information flow. In finance in particular, too many of the outputs that are created are static. The monthly business review looks a lot like last month's monthly business review. And that's not really putting us in a position to provide the information on what matters right now for the dialogue that needs to happen right now. And so that's something we're working on with AI to better support what actually comes out. The other area that's related to that, as we start thinking more into things like agentic applications, is we want to provide more leverage for stakeholder engagement. So if you have a business that grows from 10 locations to 100, the finance team doesn't scale in the same way. Yet the dialogue flow and the information flow does need to scale. And so if we're able to take what might be a one-off review or one-off feedback collection and make that more real time, that's an enormous opportunity, not just for finance, but entire organizations. And that is single-handedly what we are the most excited about with regard to AI enablement in finance.
Sincere thanks to all of you for spending time with us today and for sharing your insights. It's clear that while each of your organizations is on its own journey, the same big shifts are shaping how you think about AI readiness and enterprise data. With these customer perspectives fresh in our mind, let's turn it over to Amit Sharma, our CEO and co-founder, and Marie Forshaw, our SVP of Product Marketing. They'll walk you through what's next for CData and how we're preparing to meet these challenges in AI head on.
Now we'll hear more from Amit Sharma, CData's co-founder and CEO, about the AI industry landscape. Welcome, Amit.
Nice to be here, Marie.
Glad to have you. So for folks who are new to integrating AI with enterprise data, can you give us a quick breakdown of what we're talking about here and your perspective on it?
Let's start with most people's personal experience. People have already played around with ChatGPT or Perplexity or tools like that. So when you're asking AI, it can respond very well to any questions that you might have, as long as the information is based on things that are publicly available. When we're talking about enterprise data, we're talking about bringing internal context, private data into that conversation. So AI can give you responses that are more tailored to what you're doing in your professional life. The big part of it is we saw a wave where people thought the best way to bring context into AI was using RAG-based techniques, and they're very prevalent and they're very useful for unstructured data. So think about all of the documents you might have or contracts you might have, and you want AI to be able to work with it. You could index it in a vector database. Pinecone was very popular, one of them, and then you can bring the piece of that document that was relevant into the AI conversation, and generative AI could make use of it and answer responses to it. What we saw last year was another step forward, whereas that worked very well for unstructured data, but the reality is most of the data, if you think of it from a data engineer's perspective, we've already organized our data into databases and data warehouses, and the data lies in systems like Salesforce, Snowflake, and all of these other applications. So what happened last year was this advent of MCP layer, where you could programmatically bring context into AI conversations. And we've seen it take off very rapidly. We've seen people just building MCP servers left and right. And I think that one of the reasons why is that it is a very powerful technique where you can bring structured context and structured information into an LLM conversation in a much more easier fashion. And you can bring live data as well. You don't have to build cycles to actually build a vector database and such. So I think we've seen a lot of adoption of that, and that's what we're talking about when thinking about adding enterprise data into AI.
That makes sense, and there's so much new technology out here to support this. So with that in mind, how should our audience think about what they need to do to successfully connect their enterprise data to AI?
So the first is that think about data in different formats. So unstructured data is one, and you should have a strategy on how you're bringing unstructured data into AI. And then think about structured data. And within structured data, I think you would want to think about like, where does the data lie? Like there are use cases where you want live connectivity. You want to be able to, let's say I'm a salesperson. I want to know what are my top leads, and I want to know what is the conversation that these people might have had with my support team. I could just ask that question of AI, and if it is hooked into my systems like Salesforce or Jira, it could immediately come back with a response. And that is a very organic use, and where you might want tools like MCP connected directly to systems like Salesforce and Jira. And we've built tons of MCP servers that have been used by customers for such use cases. And there are examples where you have already data warehouse data, and you're building this report for the CEO that comes out quarterly, and you have time to build it. It's not an organic use like the one that I described earlier. There you want to build a semantic layer. You want to be able to explain to AI what the data in the data warehouse is, what does it mean, what are the names of the field, and how to work with it, and then AI can bring spectacular results out of that. And I think the last thing I would add, like I should mention, is about security, right? Like we should not forget about security. I think most of the teams that are worried about, they're concerned about this element of like, okay, I can do all of this, but what about security? And I think you need to carefully look at security especially when you're thinking about tools like MCP or agentic flows. You have AI directly interacting with data, so you need to think about like how you are going to secure it. What we have done in our context is map the security of the AI to the person who's actually accessing it. So when you think about the identity, if I'm the person who's having the conversation, and if AI is going and reaching out to data on my behalf, my identity carries forward to whatever AI is doing. And what I mean by that is I already have some security restriction in place in my organization, things that I can do and that I cannot do. And when AI is doing those things on my behalf, it has to obey by those restrictions. And what we have done on top of that is added another layer where people believe like, okay, that is fine, but I still want AI to be more restricted than I am as an individual. Maybe I as an individual have the rights to delete information, change information, but I don't want AI to do that for me. I want to be able to see it before I do it. So we give tooling on top of what privileges I already have. So first constraint is it's constrained by what I'm privileged to do, and the second constraint is adding on top of it like what exactly you want AI to be able to do. In our tools, you can turn off access to any write or capabilities, and it can be read only, and that's also an option. But there are various ways to think about security, but that's another core element when you're thinking about using enterprise data in AI.
That makes sense. And I know security is certainly a big concern in all the conversations that I've had. So it's great to hear what CData can do in that area. You mentioned that there are other implications or capabilities from CData's live connectivity approach with AI. Can you share what those are and why they matter?
I'm really excited about this notion of live connectivity, and especially the use of conversational analytics, right? Like the ability to be able to ask a question of a data set and not have to think about what it is pretty phenomenal. We've seen internally our teams have a lot of value out of it, but even since we released our beta version of MCP servers, we've seen thousands of downloads. And I know, Marie, you yourself have had conversations with plenty of customers in how they are using it, and we're discovering very interesting use cases. So I'm excited about like how live connectivity is supported on top of MCP. And MCP is a tooling that brings context into conversational use patterns, but that's not the only use case. On top of MCP, you can build agentic use cases where you can actually allow AI to be autonomous. And that's another thing we will talk about in the next coming weeks and months, and how you can build these agents on top of our MCP layer. And what's unique about our ability in terms of, when we talk about MCP, I often get this question from people that there's so many MCP servers out there. Like, what's unique about CData's MCP servers? And the unique element is that we didn't start doing these MCP servers since generative AI started. We were already doing elements of this 5 years ago, 8 years ago for reporting and analytics use cases. We had standardized access to all of the sources that we support in a SQL-based fashion. That makes it actually very easy for AI to be able to operate on it. We had overcome all sort of complexity in APIs in terms of paging or access to certain elements, rows only in certain conditions. All of that is smoothened out in our connectors so the AI can be really powerful. So I think I would encourage people to at least give our MCP servers a try and see how productive they can be.
Absolutely. And as an early user of CData's MCP capabilities, I can say this is when it really opened my eyes to how powerful AI can really be at work. There really is nothing cooler than asking Claude or ChatGPT questions about your Salesforce data that would usually take hours for me to pull myself or have someone from the ops team create a report, and then you just get the answer back in clear language that you can understand. So that is really when it was exciting for me and kind of when I saw the power that you're describing, Amit. So how is CData thinking about helping customers deploy these benefits that you described at scale for their teams and enterprises and not just for the individual?
That's a good question. So doing this at scale is very challenging because you're thinking about all of the organizational workflows that already are in place. We want to meet organizations where they are. So if you are an individual who is leading the story in your organization around AI use cases, you should be able to use the MCP server to simplify your workload, use that as an example for your colleagues, and expand from there. If you're an organization that is leading with AI and your IT team is more forward-leaning, you could think about like the data warehouses that you had built in the past, how you can layer in a semantic layer on top of it so that AI can better understand that data and operate on it. So those are just one or two examples. And then of course, like all of this in a secure context, like how do you do that in a secure way? Those are just a few examples, but I think the bigger theme here is that we want to meet organizations where they are in their AI journey and be able to start small or at a team level or at an organization level, wherever they see it fit.
That makes a ton of sense. And my final question for you today, Amit, is there's so much excitement and buzz around AI that it's really easy to feel like it's just another hype cycle. But how do you balance the excitement with the skepticism?
I think most people who have experienced AI, they would realize that it's more than a hype cycle, right? Like it is truly a transformative technology that's going to change a lot. I do agree that sometimes there is this fear of changing everything very quickly, and I don't think we should be motivated by fear. We should be motivated by the opportunity that this technology creates. So I would encourage organizations to step back, try to adopt places where they can, figure out like where they need more time. It is okay to have some teams leading and some teams lagging in terms of how they're using AI. So adopt where you can, meet teams where they are in their journey, and try to do this organically and bring people along with you and not leave them behind.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for your insights today, Amit, and for joining us at Foundations.
Thank you. Thanks, Marie.
I'm Mike Albritton, SVP of Cloud, and Manish and I are back again on day 2 to dive deep on where we're taking the CData platform. Last week, we covered 2 of our 3 pillars, and today we're completing the picture with AI connectivity.
That's right, Mike. On day 1, we explored the business insights and universal semantic layers in detail. Today, we'll recap those capabilities and then complete the picture.
First, our business insights layer. The core goal here is simple. Get data and insights to the business users who need to take action on it in their day-to-day work. But as everyone in the audience knows, that's easier said than done.
Our aim is to eliminate the man-in-the-middle problem by providing direct, live connectivity from enterprise systems to the tools that business users already prefer: Excel, Google Sheets, Power BI, Tableau, and automation platforms like Power Apps. This layer incorporates AI-guided exploration capabilities that gets users to insights faster with natural language questions and recommendations.
Next, our universal semantic layer. The core challenge here is semantic inconsistency, which creates business confusion and poor results from analytics and AI. We've all experienced reaching totally different conclusions than colleagues when we thought we were analyzing the same data, only to discover our definitions of key metrics are entirely different.
And our solutions start by connecting across hybrid and multi-cloud source systems with any integration pattern that's needed. It creates one data dictionary that indexes your business language and views that bridge business needs to your technical implementation of the data. These capabilities are supported by fine-grained controls for security and governance.
Both of these pillars help customers further their core data and analytics objectives, no matter their current state of maturity, and set them up to take advantage of AI. And let's turn our attention there. Today we're focusing on our third pillar, AI connectivity. We've learned both what's possible and what's helpful to users through our beta MCP server offering, which we launched on May 1st of this year.
Yeah, so we released 270 drivers as MCP servers, allowing users to connect enterprise data sources to Claude. We've had thousands of downloads in the past 3 months, with tens of millions of rows being queried.
We saw users connecting to multiple sources across a healthy mix of traditional, on-premise, and modern cloud systems, with top sources like Salesforce, NetSuite, QuickBooks, and SQL Server. These downloads and usage patterns open our eyes to how powerful this technology can really be.
So you've heard it from us, but let's hear directly from a few of our beta MCP users themselves.
Hi, I'm Mark Myers. I'm the CIO for a real estate investment company. Also do data consulting for AIT. We've been CData customers for over 5 years using Sync. We use Sync for over 50% of our data ingestion volume, which includes hundreds of millions of rows a day from dozens of data sources. When CData released the MCP servers, I immediately saw a potential for our consultancy business. We serve about a dozen customers at any given time, mostly customers that can't afford their own data teams. And our typical users are CFOs and operations managers who need insights but aren't very technical. I successfully implemented MCP servers for Snowflake, NetSuite, and Jira. The setup was very straightforward, and I was impressed with what I could do immediately. I asked for a complex pivot from our Jira data. It understood exactly what I wanted and wrote the SQL code perfectly. I could then ask follow-up questions to filter the data set, and that also worked very well. One of our biggest challenges has always been data discovery. When we are presented with an unfamiliar data source with tables that have hundreds of columns, many of which are empty, figuring out what's relevant used to take forever. Now I can ask the MCP server questions like, what columns have dollar amounts within a range, or which columns contain only null values? It's transforming how we approach new implementations. The potential here is huge. I can envision providing this capability to our customers alongside our existing services. Instead of just building data warehouses, we could give business leaders direct access to ask questions and get insights from their own data. This technology is leaps and bounds ahead of what I expected. CData has really nailed something important here, and I'm looking forward to additional advancements with this technology in the future.
Hi, I'm Bhavik Priani from Priani Construction. My role is growth and strategy. Prior to CData releasing their MCP server for Acumatica, I was actively trying to build one for myself, and it was very difficult and it was going to take a long time. The CData MCP server has been a game changer for our business. We're very Excel heavy, like most people in our industry, and use complex VBA macros just to update our spreadsheets. And now we can do all that through Claude Desktop with MCP connection. Just last week, we had a project closeout meeting with our accounting team, and I had Claude create an interactive financial dashboard using live data from Acumatica and threw it up on our conference room screen. People could ask questions, ask about budget overruns, where we saved money. It was extremely efficient. Looking ahead, I see this becoming mission critical. We're building internal modules and tools to read right back to Acumatica, and I can envision having AI agents and agentic workflows handle a lot of things that people do now on a day-to-day basis. It's a really great tool. We see massive benefits for it, and very excited to see it become more powerful, expanded on, and excited to become a customer when it's fully released.
I'm happy to announce today that we are releasing our MCP servers to general availability. Along with these powerful capabilities, the idea of vibe querying for conversational analytics has emerged. The ability to ask natural language questions of your data and get immediate contextual responses that feel intuitive and conversational.
Our Vibe Querying with MCP series with hosts Jared and Marie shows this idea in practice. In each 30-minute episode, they have a special guest, like a sales manager, search engine market analyst, or a product leader, who break down exactly how they're using vibe querying to get the answers that would normally take hours.
And we're far from finished. Following on our GA announcement, I'm excited to share that we released MCP server support into our Connect Cloud product. Connect Cloud is the same engine that powers our business insights layer and is used by thousands of customers to connect between live enterprise data sources and reporting and analytics destinations, as well as low-code, no-code solutions like Microsoft's Power Platform. So what can you do with it?
Well, first, you connect. Set up live connections from any data source to any AI client by just logging in. No deployments, no installs, or data pipelines. Manage all your connections in one secure headless platform.
Second, govern. You can monitor the data that users and AI can access, pass through permissions from the source, and add additional controls so you know exactly what's being accessed.
And third, you're ready to go. You're only limited by your imagination once you connect your business data to AI. You can ask for answers that span across multiple connected systems for a picture of your business that would take an army of data engineers to create manually. With the right permissions, let AI take actions to update your data back in your systems. Go ahead, close out that open Salesforce task or update that Jira ticket directly using only a natural language prompt.
To me, this is where CData takes AI from cool prototype to concrete productivity. Imagine if your chat sessions, co-pilots, and agentic interactions all had real context on your business. What could you get done?
Well, Mike, it's really powerful, but with great power comes great responsibility. We heard you when you said you want guardrails to build your confidence in your AI initiatives. Connect Cloud is designed to be the one platform that's secure, governed, and scalable for individuals, teams, and for agentic deployments.
It leverages the same security and governance that's been battle-hardened over 10 years of serving CData customers, ranging from SMB to the biggest enterprises. We meet all the leading standards for authentication, encryption, and are independently audited for the major industry certifications.
And because AI interacts with your source systems as the authenticated user, you can ensure that users cannot access more data through AI than they can through a direct login to that application. And we can add controls on top of the source profiles for additional oversight.
This is game-changing for users and ready for enterprises. We see individuals trying connected AI for themselves, realizing its value, then wanting to bring it to their entire team and organization.
And here's what the path looks like. For individuals, they can set up and connect enterprise data to Claude or ChatGPT using the authorization they already have to their source systems. Then they can vibe query their way to instant answers.
For functional teams, they can set up and centrally manage connections from their systems to a shared AI workspace. We've done this at CData and saw both the productivity and the quality of our team's work change overnight. As a functional leader, I can ask my team a question and get a high-quality analysis in an hour or two later that used to take days. And we're working with customers right now to connect their functional data to co-pilots or custom agents to deploy their functions.
For enterprises, this is where the weight of CData's experience comes into play. You can set up, govern, and monitor AI data access across users, teams, and agents. We see customers actively connecting their enterprise sources to agents for analytical use cases to deploy across their business.
I'm also thrilled to announce that our MCP support will be available to embedded cloud customers to bring LLM connectivity to their products. We're working with software providers who want to integrate their end customers' data, power agentic experience with their customers' real business context. As you can see, we're well down the path of delivering on the AI connectivity pillar. But let's take a forward look at what else you can expect.
Data teams are challenged to create an infrastructure on top of their existing data environment for real-time data access and action for AI and agents without losing control. The echoes of underlying challenges we covered on day one are heard here, but even louder.
Siloed data is a persistent and familiar problem. Expand that scope to include unstructured data sources, which can power the most impressive use cases for AI.
And the need for real-time data is also high-end. Business users need the data to be as fresh as possible to move faster with an AI assistant. Autonomous agents can make decisions instantly if they are well-informed.
With our live connectivity, CData provides one platform that is bidirectional with source systems. It can query data from and perform actions on those same systems. Most vendors today are advocating for an agent platform built around a centralized data store. While that has its advantages for certain use cases, it requires an entirely separate architecture to be built for action. With CData, one platform can handle both.
And to repeat a familiar phrase, our vision for this pillar starts with our connectivity foundation. Because we have connectors to both legacy and modern data sources, we can connect your imperfect architecture to AI across your hybrid and multi-cloud source systems and without a massive infrastructure modernization.
We solve for two architectural needs of AI: real-time use cases and semantic consistency. Our live connectivity surfaces data in real time and preserves the semantics and context of data in the source.
And today, we have integrations to key file storage systems like SharePoint, OneDrive, Google Drive, Box, Dropbox, and more to integrate unstructured data. We'll expand our abilities here for a more robust handling. We'll increase the number of supported AI clients by first extending support to the major model providers like OpenAI, AI workflow automation like NAN, and Copilot builders like Copilot Studio.
Next, we'll introduce integrations to key AI frameworks like LangChain, OpenAI Agent SDK, and Crew AI, with developer-first tooling enhanced by AI. You can build robust agents that incorporate your enterprise data with plugins and multi-language SDK extensions for all of our connectors. With GenAI integrated throughout the development workflow, we'll make it easy for developers to handle agentic use cases.
And those multi-language SDKs will have native support for Python, Java, .NET, and Node.js. They will be smarter with AI-powered code completion and documentation generation. Customers can also define custom tools and instructions which can be consumed by LLMs and by agents.
And we'll specialize our connectivity for AI with more robust, action-oriented capabilities, expanded common business views, and additional context in source data models.
Leveraging AI models with our own platform will help us optimize our performance, scale, and efficiency. An underlying capability to learn and adapt to customer requests will automatically recommend datasets and prompts to help us improve the user experience.
We couldn't be more excited to go on this journey to help our customers grow from conversational analytics into agentic action. To help us with this discussion, I'd like to ask Raul to join us. Raul Puja's our field CTO, and he's going to share how we can bring this journey to life with real-world implementation scenarios. Great to see you, Raul.
Good to see you, Mike.
Thanks.
Great to see you, Raul.
Thanks for having me, Mike and Manish. My 20 years of experience in the data industry, helping the biggest enterprises execute digital transformation strategies, gives me a practical perspective to navigate AI infrastructure decisions. And to start off, no one's beginning their AI journey with fully autonomous agents. Let's explore 3 distinct maturity stages and how CData can help you get started in each. First, let's take a startup or a team that's been created in the last 1 to 2 years. What do teams at this stage look like? You're experimenting with GenAI or GPT-based chat interfaces for internal use or embedding it into your product. You've connected a single system of record, maybe Salesforce, Jira, or NetSuite, to a large language model. You're prioritizing speed to insight over complex architecture. Most usage is read-only with structured queries through an LLM like ChatGPT or Claude. Your team may not yet have in-house AI engineers or ML pipelines. Use cases are driven by business users or product teams. Typical queries sound like, show me last quarter's revenue by product in Salesforce. These teams can use CData Connect Cloud Remote MCP to expose systems like HubSpot or Zendesk to LLMs. We provide MCP server in read-only mode with LLM-friendly SQL abstraction. They can build a talk to your live data assistant for internal ops or embedded customer support. Next is a mid-stage organization starting to scale their AI use cases. You've moved beyond single system chatbots and need AI assistance reasoning across multiple systems like Salesforce, NetSuite, and Jira together. At this stage, AI is no longer an experiment. It's part of your cross-functional workflows or a core tenet of your product roadmap, and the foundation must be solid. AI is expected to provide context-aware responses across multiple domains, like supporting interdepartmental AI use cases like RevOps, dashboards, and unified customer 360 views. Your business users' queries become more sophisticated with questions like which customers with open support tickets also missed their last invoice payment, which requires reasoning across multiple systems with consistent definitions. You're in the process of setting up multi-system federation via a semantic layer, and IT teams are collaborating to define data governance and prompt structure. CData's semantic layer can unify data logic and support federated querying. You can use our MCP functionality to access multiple systems with governed views. You can feed consistent, semantically enriched context to LLMs for more trustworthy responses. For software providers, these capabilities can be embedded directly into your products so your end customers can use the same functionality to power your AI features. Finally, let's consider an enterprise enabling agentic models. Companies here are building AI agents to act, not just answer. They're updating records, orchestrating workflows, and triggering automation. Multi-system orchestration and custom LLM integration are deployed for real agentic action. You're integrating with frameworks like LangChain, Crew AI, or OpenAI SDK. Your environment spans multi-cloud, on-premises, and embedded systems with high governance requirements. You have agents powered by custom LLMs like Ollama, Claude, or GPT-4o, and others. Your technical teams are collaborating on tool calling, chain of thought reasoning, and autonomous workflows. There's a high need for actionable APIs, not just read access. Your full stack AI infrastructure includes semantic layer, observability, RBAC, and row-level security. Example agentic workflows include autonomous invoice reconciliation, customer outreach automation, and embedded copilots. CData's platform can expose all enterprise systems through MCP servers with write-back and secure operations. Use LangChain or OpenAI agent SDKs with CData's toolkits to build enterprise integration directly into your agents. Leverage our AI connectivity for live data, introspection, smart prompt injection, and operational observability. Software providers at this stage are looking to win their category with superior agents that act across a customer's data sets. CData's embedded connectivity makes it easy for your customers to bring in their data for your agent and not the competition's. What's powerful about this approach is that you're not locked into a single path. Whether you're a startup wanting to experiment quickly or an enterprise ready for full agent orchestration, CData provides the connectivity foundation that scales with your ambitions. We've heard a lot about our capabilities, so let's see them in action now with a demo from Jared and Mira.
Thanks, Rahul, and welcome back. I'm Mira Ramachandran. I run customer experience here. Last week, we looked at how CData's business insights layer and semantic layer powers data and analytics initiatives internally for our customer experience organization. We're going to rehash the same roles we played last time, me as the business user and Jared as the IT user. We left you with a brief teaser for our AI capabilities last week, but today we want to dive deeper and further into the AI connectivity layer. Let's go back to our example of the customer success team juggling NPS scores, ticket backlogs, onboarding metrics, etc. But the data lives in a dozen different systems. We have Zendesk for support, we have Salesforce for account information, Jira for bug tracking, Marketo for marketing leads. Now imagine being able to ask a question in plain English, and you're able to instantly search across all these systems, securely and in place, to give you a real answer in just seconds. That's exactly what CData's AI connectivity layer enables. And Jared, let's start with enterprise customers seem frustrated but haven't churned lately.
Yeah, that's a great question. So we'll type in the prompt, which enterprise customers seem frustrated lately but haven't churned. And then what's going to happen here is Claude is our client in this situation, it's hitting that AI connectivity layer through the MCP or Model Context Protocol server to connect to the CData platform. For anybody that isn't familiar, the Model Context Protocol is the standard released by Anthropic in late 2024 that allows AI agents, AI clients, LLMs to communicate with external services. And what we've done is we've baked in that protocol into the CData platform that allows for any AI agent, client, like I've said, to communicate with the platform to provide AI-backed, AI-powered insights, analytics, and even actions.
Fantastic.
All right, so it looks like we've explored the data. So the universal SQL layer that exists within the platform makes it really easy for LLMs to explore the data that you're storing in the CData platform. It doesn't have to know how to communicate with the Salesforce API and with the Zendesk API and with Snowflake. It simply knows SQL, and all of that gets wrapped into these queries that allow it to explore and gain insights, even make mistakes as it queries through, but eventually correct itself and give us some insights. And wouldn't you know it, there they are, Premium Auto Group Europe.
That's right. And it's great that I can now query across all these different data sources, and every field, every custom object, everything is available to me to query across, which I love. And like you said, not surprisingly, we have our favorite customer in here as well.
Yeah.
Can you click into this a bit more and ask what the usage pattern has been in these accounts, or how it's trending over the last few months?
What are the usage trends for these accounts for the past few months? Right, so we should see it do the same thing again. Like you said, it's querying data across all of the different sources that we support, that we've connected to, that we've added into the CData platform. And so it looks like it's actually built a really nice complex query for us. And you can see that it's doing some clever activity in how it's going to present its answer to us. And then it looks like it's going to dig in some more.
I also love that this access is optimized for performance and scale with query pushdown, parallel paging, streaming, talk about using faster AI agents. Most importantly, this data is actually respecting the user permissions. And that is very, very critical to my organization. Right? Security and governance is priority for us. Wonderful job here. Now, we have queried across the board several go-to-market systems to get here. But what I really want to do is the ability to act on it. So I want an autonomous customer success agent that not just queries this information, but understands the overall sentiment of a customer when we receive an interaction from them or an email from them, and compare that with the customer health score, and create a task for the customer success rep to reach out to in Salesforce.
Yeah.
Are you able to do this?
Yeah, let's do it. So thankfully, for the sake of the timing of this demo, I've already built this agent. So here we are in Microsoft Copilot Studio. It enables connectivity to MCP servers, but we've got a basic agent. It's creating new tasks for customer success based on emails that get sent to a shared inbox. And now this is the kind of thing that we could just automate, right? This workflow exists. There's connectors directly from Outlook into Salesforce. You can automate this. But what we're really going to dig into is leveraging the intelligence that's available through the LLMs to both get sentiment from the email itself. So, if we get an email and they're happy, probably doesn't require a new task for your team. But if we get an email and they're unhappy, that's something that we want to flag. And then in addition to that, we can enrich that task with data from your team's services. So through the CData platform with that connectivity, the fact that we've got a tool baked into our agent that connects to the platform, it can not only create the task in Salesforce because we've got a Salesforce connection, but it can also query data from Salesforce, from Snowflake, from Zendesk to build an analysis on the customer in the same way that Claude did when we asked a natural language question. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send a fake email because on all accounts, I think the Premium Auto Group should be a little happier after your call last week. So I'm just going to send an email from them, and I'm going to put in all caps, "I'm extremely upset, contact me now," and hopefully that will hit the sentiment triggers. And let's hit send. And then we'll let this spin for a little bit, and hopefully when I get into, oh, it's actually notifying me that something happened. So let's refresh, and there is my task. So Premium Auto Group Europe beta outage, and then here we've got, not a nasty email, not angry words coming from the customer, but sentiment analysis and customer health analysis based on the live data that exists within the CData platform. So much more useful.
Fantastic, fantastic. Now, I want to future-proof this whole thing, right? So I don't want rogue AI agents accessing my data willy-nilly. So can I enforce security? Can I enforce governance on how that access works?
Yeah, absolutely. So, we showed last week in the platform that you can provision different users. We can go in, we can look at the business insights layer here, but the same capabilities exist no matter what level customer you are, whether you're using the full semantics layer or the business insights layer. And we can look at our users and we can see that you and I are both here, but if I go into a specific data source and I know that I should not be writing back to Salesforce, right? I should be a query-only user. I can go into my permissions, and it looks like actually I set this up wrong on accident, so that's on me. So let's flip these permissions and make sure that you have read and write access to Salesforce. But when I sign into the platform, all I need to do is just query the data that's in there. I shouldn't be creating tasks for your team. I probably don't need to be moving opportunities along in a stage, any of those actions.
So I can have a complete audit trail on every single thing that my autonomous agent is accessing.
That's right. So in this case, we could even create a separate user for the agent that has its own permissions. Mm-hmm. And within the semantic layer, you can even go column level permissions. You can mask PII within that platform to get even more security, making sure that the agent only sees exactly what you need it to.
That's great. That's fantastic and exactly what we need. Well, thank you for a great demo, Jared.
You're welcome.
In summary, we just walked through how we can take an organization from simple natural language interactions with their data to secure automated AI agents powered by CData's AI connectivity layer. Thanks for joining us. Let me have Murray back over to close out the keynote.
We started today with a simple premise. Most organizations are stuck in AI experimentation because they can't reliably connect AI to their enterprise data. What we've shown you today is how to move beyond that barrier.
The path forward isn't about modernizing your entire data architecture so it works with AI. It's about creating secure, governed connectivity with your current data maturity level that lets AI access your data where it lives today, whether that's Salesforce, NetSuite, or legacy on-premises systems.
And let's walk through how we illustrated that in this past hour. Will and Manish started us off by showing how CData has evolved from a connector library into a complete platform, one that's now embedded in solutions from Google, SAP, and Palantir. Most importantly, they showed us how the AI connectivity layer builds on our business insights and semantic layer capabilities we covered on day one's keynote to complete our overall platform vision.
The customer panel reinforced what we're seeing across industries. AI adoption is early, but the demand for real-time enterprise data access is urgent. Organizations that solve connectivity first are the ones scaling AI beyond read-only use cases.
Then Amit walked us through the evolution of the technology for AI integration. From custom API integrations to RAG to MCP, each step brought new capabilities but also new challenges around security and governance. CData's live connectivity approach solves for a fundamental problem. How do you give AI access to enterprise data without losing control?
And that led into the final leg of our platform vision that Mike, Manish, and Rahul unveiled today. It's a full package to ready your data infrastructure for AI and then connect it to your desired AI clients with the AI connectivity layer, all while maintaining good governance and security. The answer to Marie's question about maintaining control through AI is found in CData support for authentication pass-through, permission inheritance, and data in place connectivity. When your AI connects through CData, it authenticates as the user, respects existing permissions, and accesses live data without replication. No backdoors, no data copies, no security workarounds.
Our product leaders also announced our beta MCP servers are releasing to general availability, which means you can download and connect to any of our 270 sources to cloud today. They also announced MCP support in Connect Cloud so teams can deploy integration to AI at scale without the infrastructure overhead. And that capability extends to our embedded cloud for software product teams.
But what makes CData's MCP implementation different? Every source looks like a SQL database to the AI, allowing for richer responses, and 10 universal MCP tools work across every source. We deliver enterprise scale with query pushdown, parallel paging, and streaming for performance. And this isn't just connectivity, it's enterprise-grade data connectivity built for AI.
And we have so much planned here. We will invest to further our action-oriented capabilities, better integrate unstructured data, work extensively with agent frameworks, and build intelligence into our products themselves. All of it is the leading edge of innovation that we want to deliver to our CData customers.
Rahul's maturity framework showed the practical path. Start with single system connectivity for fast experimentation, then progress to multi-system federation with semantic layers when you need AI reasoning across multiple systems. When you're ready, deploy agentic workflows for AI to take action, not just answer questions.
Certainly, my favorite part was seeing the demo, which Jared led, of what Claude can really do when it's connected to enterprise data. That's where the power of AI comes to life for me.
What you've seen today is infrastructure for AI action. Not just querying data, but updating records, triggering workflows, and orchestrating business processes. The same connectivity layer that serves analytics can power autonomous agents.
Whether you're connecting your first enterprise system to an AI assistant or building agent workflows that span multiple clouds, the foundation is the same. Secure, live, governed connectivity to data where it lives.
The companies that win with AI won't be the ones with perfect data architectures. They'll be the ones that connected their imperfect architectures to AI securely and started learning. That infrastructure exists today with CData.
Well, thank you for joining us for the second day of CData Foundations 2025. Please join us for the breakout session starting soon to hear from real CData customers and partners on what they've done to start wiring their data infrastructure for the agent economy. Enjoy.